What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I am your host, Nolan Skeen, alongside Antonio Fiore, Salestrina. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
What's up, guys?
Not bad.
You almost got me there. You almost got me. Yeah, another day, another dollar. Am I right?
That's how it goes.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about in different sports. I'd say Astros digging themselves into a deeper hole.
What a week.
We had the NBA All-Star Game. And we also had other players chiming in on the Astros thing from different sports too, which is like
LeBron James.
And then
Not to mention Daniel Tosh had some hilarious tweets about that.
yes, he did. And then we'll talk about Joe Burrow and what is going on with him recently. And we'll get to that a little bit later. So
Where do we want to start?
Hey, we had Champions League too.
and Champions League as
We
well.
did have some
which
Champions
we had
League.
a lengthy discussion about last week, so we
Yep.
can go into that again. Yeah, where do we want to start? The Astros?
I mean,
They are.
I would say, yeah, we should start with the Astros only because of how soft of an apology it was.
Yep.
And Correa's interview with whoever it was.
What an asshole.
Dude, that
What
was
an
so
idiot.
bad.
Yeah, he was talking about what Bellinger was saying.
Yeah, he's
and
like,
he's like,
get your you gotta know the facts, man. Or
It's
just
like,
the facts.
we do know the
It's
facts.
like,
yeah, we know the
What-
facts.
what do
We
you
know
want
you
me
were
to do?
cheating.
No, I love the way Bregman's standing at the podium. I'm deeply sorry for what we have done, and we deeply regret it.
The best part about it was when his paper fell and he was like all like sidetracked. He was like trying to worried about getting his paper back, but he was still like doing this whole thing
Yep.
with his hands. Like
That made it look ridiculous.
I love the whole Altuve had a tattoo excuse too. And then
Yeah,
there's a picture.
that was
Hold on.
stupid.
He's like, I'm shy.
And then there's a picture of him that summer or like before the game basically, and he had no tattoo right there. So there's a picture of him.
I know that I saw that. That was a long time before the
Incident.
series, but like obviously for getting a tattoo of that stature, like you get it done in pieces. You don't
Yeah.
get it all at once.
Also, not
And that
during
was part
the
of the ex-
series when it's like,
And
gonna
also is
hurt.
really a tattoo. That's why we're not pulling our jersey
Well,
out.
he also said, I'm shy. Okay, what about all the pictures of you on
He said-
Instagram and on your internet with like you're shirtless with your
Yeah,
wife or
and he
whatever?
said he was scared of what his wife was gonna say.
Oh, come on.
They were cheating, and it's pretty obvious that they were cheating.
Yeah,
they-
and their explanation of everything just makes him more guilty, I feel like.
What Chris Bryant said was also great. I think his press conference was better than Bellinger's, and Justin Turner had some stuff to say too.
And Aaron Judge too.
I was going to
Oh,
say, I
yeah.
think out of any of them, Judge had the best one, and they were like, "Oh, you deleted."
It's like, I had respect for you guys.
He was like,
You could tell by his face in that whole interview he was pissed.
they were like, "Oh, you deleted pictures of Jose Altuve. Was it because of the incident? Why? Like, we can presume that, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, like you can presume that. Like, I don't like basically saying like, yeah, they obviously cheated and stuff. It's like, well." For Aaron Judge to come out and say that the year that he probably should have won MVP if it wasn't Altuve, like that kind of, I mean, that definitely hurts him.
And
Yeah, and like that would piss me off too.
yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with Judge there with the whole respect thing. Like, so with that year, it's because most Yankee fans are illogical idiots. They would say, "Oh yeah, Judge deserved the MVP."
Yeah, every fan
But
base has
before
those
the cheating
illogical
thing,
idiots.
that year, obviously Altuve deserved the MVP.
Well, he's hitting like what 370 or
Oh
something.
my
Oh,
god,
yeah,
it was
he had
crazy. He
numbers
hit
out of this
24
world.
home runs too. He definitely had over 100 RBIs. He did deserve it that year.
Yeah, we can attribute some of that to cheating, but like not all of it.
And well, now if they were to re-give the MVP award, it would go to Judge, and if they knew they were cheating. But
Well,
at the time, Altuve definitely
apparently
deserved it.
awards in the MLB are just a piece of hardware now, according to the
Yeah.
commissioner.
And something called the
Yeah,
Commissioner's
that
Trophy.
was bad too.
That
Like,
was very bad.
How are the Astros digging themselves a deeper hole? And the commissioner,
Manfred looks really bad in all
he's
of this.
making all the players hate him for
Yep.
what he hasn't done to the Astros players and what he called all the trophies just pieces of hardware.
Not a good look for him.
I want
Not
to
a
go
good
back
look for baseball right now.
Yeah, I want to go back to what Judge said about the whole respect thing, and I see eye to eye with that because I didn't hate the Astros like most Yankee fans did. I loved the way they built up their team. They did it the right way. I was a big Altuve fan. I loved Correa when he came up. I was a huge Alex Bregman fan. Obviously not anymore because they look like a bunch of douchebags and fourth graders. But it's a shame. And the commissioner looks like an idiot.
Handled it all.
Did you see they have a prop over under 83.5 pitches batters hit?
That's a lot. Give me the under.
I would say give me the under too because
Smash that over, baby.
really.
Now,
Yep.
dude. So
It's gonna happen every game, especially now of what's happened recently.
So I heard a good point about
hold on.
this.
It's a 3-game. There's 3-game series, right? and you're going to play besides the National League teams, you're going to play all the American League teams multiple times a year. They're going to bean you the first time they see you. After that, they'll probably get that done in the first game of the series if they're going to plan to do it. But after that, it's
So basically,
probably
what
not
you're
going to be
saying
much.
is, like, at least half of the game, someone's gonna get hit.
Maybe
half,
even
half the games they
So
probably less.
or a little less than half.
the point I heard, and it's a good point, is they're not gonna be thrown out like the first pitch of the game. It's gonna be like 6th inning, 2 outs, like nobody on base, and you're just gonna get one right in the ribs, like that.
And didn't they say there's gonna be heavy punishment? Didn't Manfred say
Oh,
that?
yeah,
Manfred did
he
say
said
that.
But now after
targeting.
what he said, I feel like the players won't give a shit.
I wouldn't. Like, what are you gonna do? Suspend me for 5 games? Like, all right, I'm just still gonna
Cool.
plonk them. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
I feel like more players will will like think that it's like benefit. Like they'll just be like, I don't care.
The players will all band together and be like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm gonna hit them. Like,
yeah, and that's
Yeah,
what
like
you
they
do,
didn't punish
suspend
them for
every single
cheating.
person.
So what are they going to do if I hit them?
now
Exactly.
the I'm not gonna say like the funny thing is, but like imagine if the Astros just go out and absolutely dominate this year just for no reason. Like, imagine if they go out and win
They
like
become the most hated team.
oh
in
my
baseball.
god! Like, imagine if they go and win like 95 games, win the AL West, and then just like make it to the ALCS or
Well,
something.
now baseball has two main villains, not just the Yankees, the
Yeah.
Astros. I think the Astros are still a playoff team. There's no doubt they're still
I mean,
talented.
losing their best pitcher is a big step backwards.
I know, but they still have a pretty damn good starting pitching staff.
I mean,
Still got a good bullpen.
you have a good front line. I mean, after that, like I don't know, some of the guys that they throw out there are pretty weak.
Yeah, but they have those two top of the line starters, Greinke and Verlander. Normally, that's enough for a pitching staff. They might get bonked around the other three guys, but
They're into everyone's
still
best.
they still have a pretty good. That makes you think, actually. Because
What?
I was gonna say they still got a damn good lineup, but if they're not stealing signs,
Right, how good
good
are
they
they?
going to be?
I don't know. I guess this year will tell us.
I don't know when they. The thing is when did they start? What if they started back in 2015 when they were a wild card team and we're doing it from there? Because I was going to say
Right now, it's
Correa
just
came
from
up around then.
2017 till now, right?
As far as they know, it started in 2017.
Okay, 'cause-
but
Did you see there was a ticket holder who's suing the team for
Oh, yeah.
raising ticket prices from 2017 to 2020?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're suing for like partial cost of what their tickets cost, based on the fact that they've been raising ticket prices the past 3 years and they've been cheating.
It's a bad look all around for the Astros.
Another thing too is like, imagine being an Astros fan right now.
Like, what do you say? You're like, yeah, we cheated and we got caught cheating.
It
Like,
sucks.
I mean, most
dude,
of the
like-
stuff I see is like, oh, move on already. Okay, biggest cheating scandal in sports history. Good luck with that.
Yeah. What?
it really is. I'm like trying to think of another one, but like,
what I'm saying,
Seriously,
like-
the Patriot shit wasn't like proven.
and even if it was,
It's not as
Spygate was
it's
proven,
not as
right?
huge as
they were in an illegal place recording. So technically, it is by the letter of the law cheating, but it really was like a walkthrough.
And it was another like Cincinnati thing. Weren't they playing the Jets or the Giants?
If we're talking about Spygate, that was a Jets thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they were playing the Jets.
Spy date number 1 was the Jets. The last one, whatever the last one is, which they still haven't punished the Patriots for, by the way. And they said that they're going to happen.
Bengals.
Yeah, happen in Cincinnati.
They're not gonna.
That's
they're not
bullshit.
gonna
They
punish
shouldn't
them.
punish them.
Deflategate.
They said that-
Deflategate was like complete bullshit.
They said that they're gonna have some sort of punishment for that.
probably just a
What are they
fine.
gonna do?
Probably just a
Take
fine.
away like their
4th round draft pick.
18th round draft? pick?
I don't
Come on.
know.
I don't know, dude.
They
Like-
love just throwing the Patriots over.
But yeah, no. And Deflategate was total bullshit. But we can skip over that.
That's people talked about that enough. We
Yeah.
don't need to cover that.
Yeah, that was just. I think everyone kind of sees it now. The more time goes on, the more it just looks like bullshit, smells like bullshit. Chances are it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Astros are definitely gonna get hit more than 83 times. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I definitely could see it, but I would say after like 3 series of it happening, Manfred's gonna be like, all right.
Because then, like, what if you get it? What if they play the Dodgers and they get hit like 4 times a game, like in a series? Like that's a big chunk.
They're not gonna get hit 4 times 3 straight games though. They did hit 4 times in a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, yeah, that could happen, but are they? I don't know. It's gonna be right. It's gonna be right there.
I bet it'll be like 82 or 81.
Yeah.
It's gonna just to tease everybody.
I also saw another fun prop too for home run leader. I don't know if you guys have any insight. Really? Wasn't even on the list.
Because no one gives a shit about him anymore, so I really wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and just pops.
Giancarlo.
Yeah, no one's really talking about him, so I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and
I wouldn't be surprised
bombs
about that
50.
either.
Let me see. I don't
Sal's gonna go bet on it right now.
imagine.
It's probably going to be like Chris
He
Davis
trusts
from
you
the
with that
Athletics
stuff,
again.
Antonio. He does.
No, yeah, you look. Oh, Jesus. I thought he wasn't on the list. He's the favorite.
Oh.
I must have missed that. That's hilarious.
Oh, now my take isn't as interesting. Yeah,
He's plus 900. He is
is it probably going to end up being like Chris Davis from the Athletics again? Like, he loves that.
33-1.
No, he loves 234 and like
48 home
Yeah.
runs.
I can't stand players like that.
So I had two. Aristis Aquino from the Reds.
Aristis.
I don't know how many home runs he hit last year, but every time he hit a home run, it went
I
700.
think I saw something that they're like projected to win that division, Cincinnati. Well, they have a good team, no doubt. It's just
They
to
should.
get their shit together.
They really should. I know Votto's old, but
Please stop wasting Joey Votto's career. He's been maybe one of my three favorite players in baseball since I started watching it when I was like 10.
you got Votto, you got Aquino, you got
Like religiously watching.
Eugenio Suarez, you got Tucker Barnhart, who's still pretty good.
They got a Scooter. Is Scooter Jeanette still
Scooter
there?
Jeanette is still there. Like they have a.
Oh, who's that? Who's that one? Oh, I forget his name. He was on the Marlins a couple years ago. The dude that just pimps the shit out of home runs. He hit like 4 in a game this year, I think.
I'll think about it.
I know
Good job.
Jeanette hit 4 in a game not too long ago. I think this guy, maybe he hit 3, but
So I like Aquino at plus or like 50-1 basically. The other one I liked is Bryce Harper. I think Bryce has years where he does really bad, and then Bryce has years where he does really good. And I think you're number 2 in Philly, especially with Girardi. I could see him hitting like 40 or 50.
your number 2 in Washington was his MVP year, right?
Was it really?
I think. When did he come up? No. 2012 he came up. No, he didn't win MVP until 2015. I forgot how much of a baby he was when he first started in the league.
His whole thing is when he is hot, he scorches. So like
Yeah.
if he goes on like a month tear of hitting like 20 home runs, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he's gonna go on a run. It just depends on how long that run's gonna be.
And it depends how long he's healthy. If he's healthy for the whole season, I definitely should see it. So those were the two that I liked.
I definitely like Bryce Harper.
What about Pete?
Not again.
No.
He's taking a step back, I think.
Give me like
Pete Alonso.
39 home runs from Pete Alonso this year.
Trout's like the safest bet. Like Trout is gonna hit 40, and it's like, all right, if he stays healthy the whole year, like he could hit 50. That lineup's gonna be a lot better too.
Yep, it's just we've said it before. It's just
About
a matter
Mitch
if
Moreland.
they can. With their starting
Mitch
pitching.
Moreland, that would be like 500-1.
I feel like every time I watch him hit, he hits a home run.
How good are guys like that? Like for your team, like every time you see them,
He's just
Yeah,
there to hit home
you know
runs.
who's the
They
complete,
get big hits.
You know who's the complete opposite of that?
Who?
Jay Crowder. When I used to watch the Celtics, anytime Jay Crowder took a shot, it was an automatic brick. I swear to
I
God.
was at the first game that they got him. It was a Warriors and Celtics game in 2015, and I didn't know who this guy was. And there were Celtics fans sitting behind me, and he's chucking up shots, and he misses every single one. And they're like, who the hell does this guy think he is? Where did he come from? And then I learned who he was, and I was like, yeah, this guy's bad.
I don't know why. Like he probably went 0 for 50 in shots that I've watched him in his career. It was just honestly the weirdest thing.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
People thought he was like okay for a while.
I feel the same way
He
about
wasn't-
Jaylen Brown. I feel like every time I watch him play, he bricks.
Really?
Yeah, and then like I'll like see on my
But
phone
he'll,
that they
like,
play,
score
and he's
20
got,
anyway.
like 30, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I love Jaylen Brown. Speaking of NBA, I think we should shift to that too.
Oh, hold on. I want to say, whatever day the Yankees first play the Astros at home this year, I'm going no matter what.
I thought you were going to say
I
about
have
the
to go.
Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, like this is gonna boost ticket sales for the MLB.
Oh, yeah.
The number one game, the number one team for like road attendance is 100% going to be the Houston Astros.
Yep.
If the Houston Astros are in town, people are going to want to go see that game.
yeah, and that's like the motto of any publicity is good publicity, because now people just want to go see the Astros get shit on.
Nobody ever talks about the MLB and like
baseball's everywhere now. I mean,
Yeah.
2000s, most shows on TV, it wasn't so much football and basketball like it is now. It was football and baseball, and that's what it was forever until, about
They still
this
were
decade.
no, they still used to be talking about basketball, but
there
like,
was baseball was in there all the time.
say like whatever they talked about basketball right now would be a 50-50 split of baseball and basketball.
Yeah, like Colin Cowherd, when he was on ESPN, talked a ton of baseball.
Now people just don't want to listen to it. It's like a younger audience. You're trying to appeal to a younger audience, and that's football and that's basketball.
Yeah, but now with this happening, it's like when we found out about this the week of the Super Bowl, that took over the Super Bowl.
It did. I mean,
It did, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say taken over the Super Bowl.
For
but
those days,
for a lot of days,
for
it
those
was
few
for
days.
like the first day, yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, we can go to NBA.
I was gonna say, shifting to NBA. Me and you had a little discussion last night. He says you say absolutely zero chance that the Rockets can do anything in the postseason.
Nope.
Oh yeah, me too. I agree with him.
What are they good at?
I don't
honestly.
All right, I don't think that they're gonna make an NBA Finals, but they could make a Western Conference Finals, and they could push whoever they're playing to like 6 or 7. And I don't see how you can't say that.
I don't see how they could beat any of these teams. Like I remember you saying, like the Rockets are a bad matchup for the Clippers, and I know they lost twice. But are they going to beat them in a 7-game series? You cannot.
I think just by the time he gets to playoff time, Russ and Harden are just gassed. Maybe not so much Russ, but Harden is
Russ,
gassed. That's
absolutely.
why they're always so bad in
Russell
the playoffs.
Westbrook in the playoffs is like 10 for 27 with 13 turnovers
All right,
and like
ready?
20 assists.
Because they go so hard every night.
They're gonna take 53s a game,
Yeah.
and if they shoot well,
and they never make them in
Okay.
the postseason.
if they shoot well 4 out of 7 times against the Clippers, they win. That is their whole.
That's
game
why
plan.
they've never gotten around the Warriors, because they tried to play the Warriors game. They just play a shittier version of it. and
So
it doesn't
It's
work.
going to be an offensive rebound fest for whoever they play too. Honestly. PJ Tucker at center and you didn't trade for another center? Come on.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, all right, you have people boxing out for a reason, and like, there's multiple people that can get a rebound for that team.
I know that, but if you put in like you have your center in the right now, their matchup in the playoffs would be against the Utah Jazz, who again I think
like in Rudy Gobert.
No
with
way.
like yes, Gobert would have 25 rebounds. But at the same time,
and if they
like,
put in like a bigger power forward too, they have no shot.
All right,
getting
at the
around.
same
I don't think
time-
they could. I don't think they could beat the Jazz.
at the same time
No.
at the same time playing defense, you're really gonna have PJ Tucker. Say it's a Westbrook PJ Tucker pick and roll. Gobert's not gonna be able to stay with PJ Tucker or Russell Westbrook if he has to switch on Westbrook.
No.
That's barbecue chicken. So it goes both ways. It's
yeah,
a
but just stick Gobert underneath the
But the
basket
Ja-
and force him to shoot threes.
The
But
Jazz
if
are
PJ Tucker,
able to do
if
that
PJ
consistently.
Tucker's on the 3-point line or running pick and roll, like he has no impact on the defensive end.
Let him run the pick and
But
roll.
I also trust the Jazz to be able to figure
Stay
that out
home.
because they are one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. There's no shot Houston beats them in a 7-game series, and Utah has great shooters too.
You're saying there's absolutely no chance.
No fucking way. I'd pick them in 5.
You're crazy.
I have to go. with
And
Antonio
also
on
with
this one.
Houston, what do you have to rely on? You have to rely on outscoring your opponent. That doesn't win you series like in an NBA playoffs.
Again, we've talked about this. They play the Warriors game without the defense part. Everyone forgets how good the Warriors defense was when they
Yeah.
made that run. And how they were just like, oh, well, they're just going to outscore everybody. No, they play fantastic defense on the other end. Something that Houston doesn't do.
There's a massive
Oh,
brawl in the
whoa.
Bruins game. The play was going on, and they had 3 people jump one Edmonton player.
Or he must have did something. Cassian's not playing, so it's not him.
I don't know. I definitely think the Rockets can win a couple series. I know you don't want to say that, but I would not be surprised if they made a Western Conference Finals.
Also, if they play the Nuggets, oh my God.
They'll beat them.
Oh no! If they play the Nuggets, they'll probably get swept and lose each game by 30 because they suck at defense anyway. And you have Jokic, who's a big man and can distribute like no other big man in NBA history. He will tear apart that defense because you don't know
That's
what
what
he's
I was
going
going
to
to say. I
do.
was
He
going to
could
say
post
Denver.
him up,
They
or
do
he
not
can
want to
dish
play
it
Denver.
out.
Yeah, they do not want to play Denver for
No,
sure.
hell no. That's also one of the best offensive teams in the league, and you know you can't play defense. That's a guaranteed 135 for the Nuggets each game.
Yeah, I don't think
Then you're saying that they're going to get past either the Clippers or the Lakers after that?
I could see them getting past the Clippers. I know you guys probably think that's nuts, but I think they could.
No, I think they either
I
make
don't
it to
get
the
that.
second round and get bumped, or they don't win the first round.
I think they at minimum go round 2, and I think they probably go round 3. I think they beat either Utah or whoever they play, honestly.
There's no way they can go to the finals again or the Western Finals and lose again. I just think like if they do, that's just awful.
That's such a Rockets thing to do, though. That's such a James Harden thing.
I mean, even when the Warriors were down in that series, there was no doubt the Rockets were losing. You know they'd figured out a way to lose.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun to watch every year.
He doesn't have control over
Oh
that team.
God, one of the most stubborn coaches in NBA history.
Really
Ever,
just,
even
like-
when he was back on the Suns, he was like, "Defense, what's that?
Yeah.
Let's just outscore them." It makes no
It's
adjustments.
like we
It's
have James
crazy.
Harden, then he goes out and plays 40 minutes a night and scores 50, and it's like cool. Can you
That's
do
another
that for
thing.
82 games?
He's probably
and then
gonna
go
get-
play deep in the playoffs.
If
No.
whoever he plays in the playoffs, he's probably going to get outcoached.
He's gonna get outcoached and he's gonna be gassed every night because he's just been doing this every night.
Yeah.
So now he's got to do it more often and in a shorter period of time. Hell no.
Not to mention they are. I might have said it, but they're one of the worst shooting teams in
Bro,
the NBA.
I get out
They're
of
one of
breath
the worst
thinking about it right
three-point
now.
shooting teams in the NBA.
We'll see.
When they got Westbrook, I was like, I cannot wait for this to blow up.
It's going to be interesting, but if it works out, they have very high upside. They have two of the best. In any series, you probably have two of the best 3 players. I mean, I would take James Harden over Paul George, and I would say Russell Westbrook and Paul George are kind of close. As much as I'm not even.
I'd
Westbrook
rather
fan.
have Paul George over Russell Westbrook any day.
Can Paul George stay on the court?
That's
No,
very
I'd
true.
rather have Westbrook over Paul George. He's more consistent.
If Westbrook's on my
Paul
team,
George is way more consistent, but at the same time, Paul George needs to stop breaking his leg every 5 minutes.
if Westbrook is on my team, one thing I know is that my team's not winning an NBA championship. That's
He's too
the
selfish.
end of that. Not that it's there. I mean, it is kind of that, but he helps his team to a point, but also holds his team back to a point. It's hard to explain, but that's how Westbrook is.
That's what I'm saying. James Harden does the same thing, and you have 2 of the same guys on that team. It's just
I'm not a huge fan of either player, but I do prefer Harden much more to Westbrook.
I hate James Harden.
Have you guys switched your tune from who you think is coming out of the West, or are you guys still staying with? I don't know who you each picked, but
I think I said the Clippers, and I switched it to the Lakers.
Yeah,
after
me too.
Kobe, because like LeBron is just going to be unstoppable.
especially when it comes to playoff time, he's just not going to do
And
shit.
if AD can just stay healthy, and they're just probably gonna, I would try to
Oh,
rest
there
him
was
as
a-
much as I can.
there-
But like,
There was a report today that DeMarcus might come back for the postseason.
That'd be huge.
and if he
oh
comes
my
back
God, I
for the
would be so excited.
postseason and contributes anything, they're gonna win.
I would say that does matter, but when you have Dwight Howard playing the way he is off the bench, what do you
Because then you have him and DeMarcus.
Exactly.
Like,
But then you have
That's-
JaVale's okay. It's not like JaVale's bad.
Well, yeah,
that's the thing.
It'll
like,
be
they got
incredible.
him
But then you
too,
don't
so
even
it's
need,
like-
no. But then at that point, you don't even need JaVale.
Yeah, well, at that point, they just
Then
have
you just have 'em in case
huge,
someone
like
gets
huge
foul
people.
trouble.
Your team is
Yeah.
massive anyway, and then your starters are. I mean,
You look and see if Dwight gets in foul trouble, you just put.
I don't
JaVale
think-
in
How
there.
hard are they signing J.R. Smith?
I hope not. But
I really hope.
I don't.
not.
If Boogie comes back, I don't think he'll be a starter just because of like what he's coming off of. But do you guys remember how good Anthony Davis and DeMarcus played together when they were on the
Oh
Pelicans?
yeah, they did.
My God,
Yeah, they
DeMarcus
were-
was a wizard.
Do you remember who the point guard of that team was?
That was Rondo. When they signed DeMarcus, I was like, oh my God, they were so fun to watch that year.
So I said Lakers before the season. I would have to stick with the Lakers. On the East, I said the Sixers, and that's not looking good.
Oh
at
hell
all.
no.
That team is in turmoil right now.
That's like
I
that-
think
that's like
for
my
me-
Rockets East.
For me,
That's
it
a-
came-
Not as extreme.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah, for me, it came down to either Milwaukee or the Celtics.
Yeah, that's
thinking
what I'm
it's-
still centered around. Toronto's really putting themselves in the mix right now. They're the 2 seed.
Toronto's so gross, dude. They love this, and then they'll lose in the second round. Like this is Toronto without Kawhi. Like they'll
Yeah.
It
they'll
is,
have
but they have a phenomenal coach.
Nick Nurse is very good, but Dwayne Casey also won Coach of the Year too.
He did.
So I don't know. Toronto, but if they win a couple series, I
want
want
to see what the Heat does.
Heat'll be fun.
They're going to be the fun team in the playoffs.
So either one of their potential matchups are going to be very fun. Indiana, you remember when Butler and T.J. Warren got into that little
Yeah,
fight
we
on the
talked about
court?
that last
That's
time.
Yep.
also that those teams have history too. Go
Yep.
back earlier in the decade. That's kind of a classic matchup.
And then if they don't play them, then they play Philadelphia, and then that would be Butler versus his old team. So that would be a great storyline
Yeah,
too.
I like Miami over Philadelphia. I think Indiana. I think.
That game. No, that series would go 7 so
Indiana
hard.
and Miami would be great.
Yeah.
I think I'd end up picking the Pacers out of that series, but no matter what, I think it'll be a great series.
No way.
That's the gross pick though, to pick the Pacers.
Pacers are gross. No one likes watching the Pacers.
Indiana.
I do. Oladipo's a great player. I'm so happy he's
Then
back.
people, then people are like
the
Miami.
most Antonio Fiore sports team would be the Indiana Pacers. Like just like slow, like 2-point hook shot, like playing your defense, like cut to the rim.
Yeah, you love that. Because then me and Sarah are like Miami.
Yeah, no, Miami will be
Oh
fun.
no, I like Miami. I just don't.
But you like
Indiana.
Indiana.
I'm a big Tyler Hero guy.
Bam Adebayo is really good.
Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler.
He's been playing unreal. And he won the Stills competition.
They have
too.
such a good future down there.
All-Star weekend. Aaron Gordon
Let's
got
get to
robbed.
it.
Oh yeah, that was bullshit.
Aaron
again.
Gordon got robbed.
If you dunk over Taco Fall, you win the chance.
And
you win
he
it.
touched him because Taco
People
his
are like,
hands were up
he
there.
caught him on the way down. It's
And-
like, bro, he's 7'5".
Exactly.
What do you want?
So, I said this before the podcast.
Yeah,
Conspiracy theory, Sal.
think about this before.
Aaron Gordon was the favorite to win the slam dunk contest, so my presumption is there was more money on Aaron Gordon than everyone else combined. So
Yeah, it was just so frustrating because I remember watching the one against him and Zach LaVine, and like they gave it to Zach LaVine because he dunked from the free throw line. I was like, cool. So then when they were going back and forth with the 50s, I'm like, bro, can someone just get like a 40 something?
Yeah.
Then they can give the other person a 50. Derrick Jones tries to fucking dunk from the free throw line.
Takes one step in. Yeah.
Doesn't dunk from the free throw line. Dunks from inside the free throw line, which probably half of the players in the NBA can do. Then Aaron Gordon goes and dunks over Taco Fall.
and it's a worse score.
And gets a worse score. I was like,
Incredible.
when I saw those 3 9s pop up, I went, no fucking way, dude. I was like, they did not just rob him again.
Ugh.
And everyone booed. And then did you see Jones Jr. after that? He did not want it.
Yeah, no, he didn't want it.
He thought he lost at
Yeah.
that point.
Did you guys hear Charles Barkley roasting Common pretty much the whole dunk contest?
I heard a little bit of it.
Like in the beginning, he was like, "Man, Common couldn't dunk a tea bag in a teacup or something like that."
Yeah, Charles Barkley loves picking on people that like have
And then
no business being
Shaq
on
was
beat.
there with the camera again.
That was funny.
I saw the video.
Zach LaVine was like lingering in the background of him the whole time.
I saw the video of him from like 2000 with like the big camera, and then
Yep,
the video of him from like now with the smaller camera. It's just
Which, I mean, great dunk contest. I think for
was
me,
great All-Star weekend.
for me, it was spoiled.
I mean, it was spoiled, but I think the dunk contest was great. The 3-point contest was
Yeah,
Buddy
I was happy for Buddy Hield, and I like halfway through, I was like, why didn't I bet on this? Because Buddy Hield was my favorite player, obviously, out of that like.
He has the
groups.
most threes
I don't know why I wouldn't bet on him.
in this amount of years that a player has played. He has the most
I'm also
threes,
a huge
right?
Devonte Graham fan too, but I wouldn't have bet on him. I love.
such an Antonio thing. Dude.
I loved him in college. When I saw he was in the 3-point contest, I was like, hell yeah. He used to lock down Buddy too.
I put a little money on Levine and I put a little money on Buddy, so I ended up winning on Buddy. But Levine,
I love Buddy.
No, Levine started off really badly, and then he just got hot like halfway through his rack, and I think he ended 1 or 2 off of going on to the final. Buddy did knock down his last 4 or 5, or he made 5 out of 6 on the last rack or something to win it. So Booker was cooking in the last round and in the first round too, especially.
Yeah, he had a big first round.
The All-Star game itself, the format, I think everyone enjoyed. I don't really think I've heard anyone say like it was bad.
Yeah,
At the end, you had players arguing calls. It was close. They were playing
Defense in an All-Star
Nothing to complain
game.
about.
Yeah, it brought defense back, which I think a lot of people were fans of, and they just like that competitive nature.
Players loved it too.
I mean, the thing is though, like everyone was hot about the last quarter of it. So like the first 3 quarters, everyone's like, eh. But
Well,
then,
yeah,
like,
they were still
last
doing the
quarter-
screw around thing, like they want to do in the NBA All-Star game, have some fun. But
I love how
Got-
Giannis
it
was
got
just
good at the end.
roasting Harden all weekend. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I mean, I hate Harden. Just watching Harden.
Nobody hates James Harden more than Giannis.
Good. I love that.
He said like
yeah,
when
no
they
one
were
wants to watch.
Harden's a
free throw
bitch.
contest.
they were saying when they were picking the teams out, Charles was like, "Oh, do you want James Harden? Like, I don't know if you'll get like the ball." He said something along that
Yeah,
line.
he says like, I want a teammate who passes the ball.
Yeah, and then Giannis was like, "I want a teammate that passes the ball." And then during like after the game, they were like, "Oh, what was your plan on offense?" And he was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna hunt out Harden and attack him on
Honestly, dude, like
That's the other thing about the Rockets. They are unwatchable.
They're not fun to watch. I'll give you that too.
it's just ISO, dude.
It's
That's
free
all it
throws.
is.
It's ISO.
It's free throws,
It's ISO
literally.
free throws and 3-pointers.
And a lot of missed 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they're just content with taking 63s and hoping half of them go in.
It's math. Apparently, it's supposed to work.
They're like, oh shit, we shoot 30%, so we have to take 90 just to
They literally
maybe win this game.
They literally have like nerds just sitting in the crowd, like, all right, we gotta shoot 17 more threes this game. Like they love that.
Oh, they love that.
Who's your pick from the East? I forgot to ask you that
I think I ended up picking the Celtics.
before the season.
I think I picked the Celtics as well.
Interesting.
I don't remember. It would either be Milwaukee or the Celtics, but I probably picked the Celtics.
I would say I'm not switching mine. I'm just gonna like ride out the Sixers and hope that they somehow figure it out.
I
Because
respect it.
I mean, you got two great players. Like Ben, as much as they don't work out,
They're a dysfunctional family. They're
Ugh.
they're the Rockets of the East.
the worst signing of all time was Al Horford. The worst signing of our lifetime was
He
Al.
does like turning it on in the playoffs, though.
When I saw that they signed him, I was like, wow,
You have
their
Joe.
team is huge.
You have Joel Embiid. What is the point of signing Al Horford?
I thought they were going to be the best defensive team in the NBA. Like I wanted
that's
to
so bad.
I wanted to like them, but then I'm like, they
Sounds
still have Ben
pissed.
Simmons.
Sounds
Like you can do so much better than that. And I'm not saying Al Horford's a bad player at all, but for your system, get a wing player. Get someone. I don't know who was a free agent that I can think of.
Should have re-signed JJ Redick. Why wouldn't you do that?
JJ Redick would have been. I would have wanted JJ Redick over Al Horford right now. At least you have spacing on the floor then. With Al Horford, literally everything is so clogged that nobody can move.
You like JJ Redick. You don't lose this with age.
Correct.
You lose speed and everything else with age, but the way you do this, no, that's
JJ Redick has never missed the playoffs in his career.
no, he hasn't.
And
I was saying that earlier in the year. I'm like, I'd love the Pelicans to make the playoffs this year. I don't know. How that's
they're
gonna
not
work now. But
They're not far out.
no, they're not. I mean, what are the Grizzlies? 28, 26, I think. I looked yesterday. They could be in that area. Maybe they lost or won last night. Could be. But there's the Pelicans are lingering and the Blazers are lingering hardcore.
Mm-hmm. Blazers aren't going to make it.
They've cooled off just a little bit.
Pelicans are going to make it, and it's not going to be by a
Oh,
lot.
and they want Zion in the playoffs. So
I hope they
So
make
bad.
it, but I also want the Grizzlies to make it.
I don't.
It'll be interesting
Dude,
late in
oh
the
my
season.
God.
Well, I mean, they
Dude,
want John
hold on.
Morant in there too.
The Lakers against the Grizzlies would be an absolute
Ass-kicking.
yeah,
smackdown.
that's so would the
They want
Pelicans.
Zion
But
Nope.
versus
at
LeBron.
least that would
Nope.
be interesting.
because they would let Zion have one or two games where he has like 40 or like
yeah,
50.
they want the Zion
Yeah.
versus LeBron hype
Maybe-
without the voice crack.
maybe 5 or 6 games.
We'll see.
It'd be fun to watch. I'd love to see a LeBron.
The West-
I
Zion
would
series.
watch the
The
NBA playoffs
West
if that was
the
an matchup.
West playoffs is going to be so entertaining.
Oh my god! Literally,
The East is just gonna be terrible.
most.
Most matchups, second round of the East is going to be really good.
Yeah, the
Oh, that'll
first
be
round's gonna be
nuts.
hard to watch, but the second round will
Like,
kick.
I
it.
don't know.
Who is Milwaukee going to play? Milwaukee is literally
Some sub 500 team.
oh
and
god.
it's fucking
Well,
terrible.
we're even looking at like with the West. One in Lakers in the 8 seed might be, depending on who it's going to be, might be kind of. But the 2 and the 7.
Orlando?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll check really quick.
But the 2 and the 7 in the West right now, as it sits, the Mavericks are in the 7th seed. That would be interesting. Whoever they play in the first round is the 2 seed.
Well, the
just
Clippers
Luka.
don't want to. Oh no, they wouldn't be the Clippers. It'd probably be Denver.
Yeah,
honestly.
Denver and Dallas, I think would be a damn good series.
Then it's just Luka just scoring a shit ton of points.
3 and 6 right now. What's that?
Yeah, it's the Magic. Their Magic are 24 and
Clippers
31 right now, and
Oh wow, the Thunder. Clippers
And
would
the-
kick the Thunder's ass.
and the 46 and 8 Bucks would play them. That's just not fair.
the Thunder are
Like,
good.
can we just, if they go 3 up, can we just call it?
Wow, what if KD pulls like a Brett Favre and is just like, I'm coming back like this, like right now?
I mean, all I've seen is videos of him working out, so I don't know. They talked about Curry's coming back soon, right?
They want him to.
They want him to,
why?
and they want Clay to come back too.
Why?
I don't get the point. I think I think you want to know why. You know what I saw today?
For me,
I
it
saw
would
an
just be
article.
refreshing to see him play.
I saw an article that the ratings for the Warriors has literally gone straight.
Oh, I
down.
bet.
Like,
Well, the
number
bandwagon-
one
the
NBA.
the
ratings are
bandwagon ran
terrible.
away.
NBA ratings are terrible, and the Warriors like went from number 1 to 0.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, you said all the bandwagon fans have jumped ship.
Literally.
Yeah, definitely. And like, if they want them to come back just to get some sort of salvage from the ratings, that's terrible. Because then like if he goes out and gets hurt and gets even more hurt, then you're like
Kevin Durant in the finals.
You're risking your career at that point.
I
mean, they tried to do it. They tried to do it to win a championship with Kevin Durant.
I get
and
that.
Kevin Durant
Yeah.
definitely
Kevin Durant
agreed
wanted
to
to
it.
play, too.
I don't care what Kevin Durant says. He agreed to come back. So it's ultimately up to the player. It doesn't matter what the trainers and all your endorsements say. You ultimately decide your fate, and that's what KD did, and he ended up making it worse. So that was KD's fault. And he still got a monster contract with the Nets, so he's not complaining. And still got 2 championships out of or 1.
2.
2.
Should have 3.
Back to the West, because I've with the 6th seed, the Thunder are a good story. I don't want to see them.
Oh no, they're in a dead cream to whoever they play too.
Like, can they just drop in like the Pelicans going to go
So
in there or
weird how
something?
there's like 5 or 6 just top teams, and the rest just have to take the beating.
Oh yeah,
until
no,
we get
you
to the last
like
6.
you just have to take one for the team.
Until we get to the last 4, last 8, like they just have to take a beating.
Should we talk a little Champions League?
Little Champions League. I'm okay with
Borussia
that.
Dortmund, yeah.
Very, very impressive. PSG had no clear attacking opportunities that whole game.
Nope. There's nothing like watching Paris.
Yeah, and then PSG finally scores, and they come back like
That
30
one-
seconds later and score a rocket.
That one goal that PSG scored was Mbappe, just like a moment of brilliance. He broke 3
which
people.
he's gonna have at least once.
Oh
a game.
yeah, that he broke 3 people, and there's not much you can do about that. And then he passed it right across goal to Neymar, and obviously Neymar has to finish that, and he did. And then Haaland's second goal, like you said, was just an absolute rocket with his left.
Crazy, dude. Such a good shot.
I don't know what they bought him for. They bought him
Probably
in
like
in the
2 dusty pennies.
literally
like you like to say.
maybe a dusty penny,
And a dusty penny. They found him on the street somewhere, probably.
and they are going to sell him for a
He's only like 19, I think. So they probably didn't get him for. He probably came out of there at like academy or something.
no, he was playing for someone Werder Bremen or something.
Oh, so like
But
he got graduated. He's gonna go to Bayern next year for
probably I could definitely see that. I could see a Bayern, or I could see. I've heard Liverpool for him too.
Oh wow.
So like that would be interesting.
Oh, my
Speaking
God.
of Liverpool,
Not
Yeah, but they'll win the second leg 3-0.
Atletico held them to 0.
Yeah.
Simeone.
That was
Simeone
impressive.
in the Champions League just absolutely. Simeone in the Champions League is like Belichick in the playoffs. Like he just devises the best game plan, and like Liverpool had their opportunities to score, but at the same time, like Atleti, I would say controlled.
I mean, they've been one of
90%
Europe's
of the
best
game.
defensive teams for a very long time.
I
That's
heard.
what gets them so deep in the Champions League every year.
I heard Spanish teams are 8-1 in their last 9 opening Champions League games at home. So
Yeah, they love first leg upsets.
yes,
Me and Sal were talking about this. This always happens.
That's what when I was watching the game, I'm like, yeah, Liverpool.
And that second leg will be
3
such
or
a good
4.
game.
oh yeah. And then today we had Leipzig beat
Yeah,
Tottenham.
just like you said.
I love Leipzig. 1-0. Not too much happened in that game. I mean, there were a couple chances, but nothing of note. And then foul inside the box, and Werner buried his penalty. So that's all she wrote. Then sent it back to Leipzig because they were in Tottenham. So as long as they don't care about putting away a goal,
I'd like to see him hold on.
I would too. At the same time as Jose Mourinho didn't come back today, his ass kicked in the Champions League. I don't know. Like I definitely think Leipzig's gonna win, but I wouldn't be surprised if.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of sick of Tottenham at this point.
I'm even more mad that Tottenham. I'm more mad that Tottenham's probably gonna end up being in top 4
Fucking go.
for EPL just because of the whole Man City thing, and I don't think they deserve it this year. But somehow they're gonna sneak in there because they always end up doing it.
Sorry.
Fuck Man City.
Pasta just scored in overtime, so I'm fucking happy.
And then the other game was Atalanta, and
Yeah, and Valencia, which I mean is kind of like the game.
I like Atalanta, dude.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna win the second leg.
They're
definitely gonna win the second leg, but
they could pull an Ajax. I could see them winning another round, honestly. If they play someone weaker, I mean, obviously not weaker than them, but if they play like a Like a Dortmund, I could see them being like Dortmund or someone like that. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And then next week we have Napoli and Barca.
Nice.
And then we have
Goal.
Bayern and Chelsea.
I can't wait till next Wednesday to watch Juventus play.
And then Juventus plays who'd we
Lyon.
Oh, that'll be a smacking. That's not even fair.
I don't
No.
know.
No way.
I don't know.
A French team
Oh
that's
my
not
god.
PSG.
Real and Man City. Man City is losing very
so-
Oh
hard.
yeah.
So that was a hot take about that.
I love Real. Real's going through on that one.
That's another one
I
that I
agree
can see
with
Real
that.
winning the first leg and then Man City coming back in the second leg.
Man City's at home the first leg, I think.
I don't know, but
Real's at home the first leg. They want to win that really
I
bad.
don't know. I just like
They want to
watching-
win that like 2-1, and then Man City will win like the next
yeah,
leg.
they cannot win 1-0 because Man City's going to score at least 4 at home.
There's just nothing like watching Man City lose.
It's going to be like 2-1 the first leg, and then it's going to be like 4-2 the second leg, and Man City will go
It's gonna
through.
be an exciting second leg for both matchups.
Hold on, wait, what was the other? Oh, I love Napoli. Napoli's winning their game against Barca. I'm not going to say draw or win. They're not losing that game though.
You know, I've been thinking about it.
Barcelona likes that in the first round.
Barcelona does like choking.
Especially to Italian teams too. They hate playing Italian teams. They lost to Roma 2 years ago.
Because Italian teams know how to defend that style.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, Italian teams know how to defend that style.
Yeah, that was insane when they lost to Roma. That was also
But
the day.
again, I hope that they don't park the bus against Barca. They have to realize how good they are against.
Yeah.
They can't just get overclouded by the fact that this is Barcelona and they have, all these world-class players. They have to realize that they're also a good team and they can beat them. Don't park the bus, Napoli, if you're listening. If they're listening.
I remember when they beat Barcelona, because that pissed me off because Messi got knocked out. Then the next day, I had to watch Juventus tease the shit out of me and tie up aggregate with Real Madrid, and then Ronaldo, the most
3-3
bullshit penalty
I
I've
remember
ever
that.
seen. And this was I hated Ronaldo, like when LeBron hated Ronaldo. I mean, I don't hate either of them anymore because they're on my teams, but that made me want to just rip my hair out. Maybe one of my worst sports memories ever.
Yeah,
Because
that
I'm thinking,
was definitely bullshit.
Buffon's
I
going to
remember
get his
watching it, too.
Champions League. I don't have to worry about Barcelona in the final.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I think Leipzig goes through. From the games today, I think Leipzig goes through. Atalanta should go through with a 3-goal lead on aggregate. I think we all think Liverpool goes through, even though they're down a goal. And I know you're saying...
With their firepower, they definitely should be able to squeak out a 2-0 win at Anfield. So,
And then I know you're saying Dortmund. I wouldn't be surprised if PSG comes and wins at home.
I hope not.
honestly, I don't know.
I'm a big Neymar fan.
Dortmund played a really good game against PSG. They
I like
controlled most
Neymar.
of it.
I like Mbappe. I'm not rooting for PSG at all.
They're kind of like, you either love them or hate them.
I just don't
here's
want
the
to root
thing,
for a
though.
French team.
Dortmund's counterattack with Holland is
Deadly.
lethal.
And
It's
Sancho.
lethal. So, like, they could go and, like I said before, park the bus, but then have Holland up top, and then if they just get one look and Holland's gone,
Yep.
and they score, and boom, 1-0. That's tough. On the road, that's a big goal if they go up 1-0 on the road.
Definitely.
That would be crazy. All right, I want to talk about your guy. No, not your guy, but Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
I know
This ain't Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
we're
I know
talking.
your guy's Trevor Lawrence, but whatever.
He should do it.
They said that in the report, and he didn't say this. This is just what they're speculating, that if he were to get drafted by Cincinnati, he would either request a trade or refuse to sign with them,
So I thought about this
like what Eli Manning did.
for basically, like, since you said it, and, like, yes, that's shitty to, like, do or say, but at the same time, like, all right, if you're a young, like, up-and-coming, like, best in your field player, or not, I'm not going to say player, say, like, in your field, you're able to pick, like, where you want to work or, like, where you want to, like, be, like, associate yourself. Like, in the NFL draft or in any sort of draft, like, a team drafts you, like, you're going to play there. Like, that's your obligation. So it's like, when it comes to a team that's as, like, dumpster fire as Cincinnati, why am I going to risk, like, my career getting sacked 100 times, throwing to no receivers, having no coaching staff that can help me get better? It's like
Throwing to no receivers.
if they don't have AJ Green, tell me who they have. They have Tyler Boyd. Whoop-de-doo, dude.
John Ross had some
Ross
nice
is
games
pretty
last
good.
year, and I trust Joe Burrow to kind of try and make.
I mean, John Ross is going to get better with each game.
Sal, I
so-
didn't say he's good. I said he had good games. I think he could be a reliable receiver.
Wow, the Bengals have such deadly weapons compared to other teams. Literally,
Joe
it's
Mixon's
such
a
that-
nice player. They have
their offensive line is dog shit.
It's dog shit, but they
Yeah,
have
he would get sacked.
They have some
He would
okay
get sacked
pieces
a
on
lot.
offense that they can try and work with. But at the same time, what I was going to say is that is a horrible organization. Why do you want to play for them? What kind of trust do you have in them to keep those pieces around you and build up your offensive line and, keep you healthy and manage you right?
Correct.
I don't want to see him on the Bengals. I don't care if he requests a trade or not. I'm going to root for Joe Burrow because I like him and I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't want to see him on the Bengals. One, that's boring because it's the Bengals, and two, again, they're a horrible organization.
Where's the logical destination for him then?
I'd love to see him in Tampa Bay. I'd love to see anybody in Tampa Bay.
We just want a quarterback in Tampa Bay. No, I want Jameis back in Tampa Bay.
So do I.
Oh yeah, if he doesn't throw picks, then
He got his
He could
LASIK.
win
We
MVP.
said this.
So
hold on. I need to look at the draft order.
so
again.
where does Rivers go then? Does he retire?
I
Does
just
he-
want him to retire.
I think it's time, dude. Like, he can't throw anymore. He barely could throw in the first place.
I'd like to see Burrow in the Dolphins. I think that'd be a nice
that
place
makes
for him.
that makes a lot of sense only because of how many picks the Dolphins have. And
I think Justin Herbert's a really good prospect. Everyone is Tua over him. They have been. I don't get it. I just don't understand the whole Tua thing. I know Miami is really interested in Herbert.
so. Why don't you trade from 1 to 4? Take Herbert.
Well, didn't they come out and say that they didn't
Well,
want
Miami's
Herbert
at 5.
just
The
to
Giants
make
are
it
at
seem
4.
like they didn't want Herbert, and then they were like, "Yeah, we want Herbert."
Oh wait, what are they at? Dolphins are at 5.
Yeah, but
They
again, they still have Rosen. Again, he's looked like shit, but he's also had awful offensive lines and terrible
I think
weapons.
it's gonna be a no from me, Chief.
If he didn't play last year over Ryan Fitzpatrick, then he's not a good NFL quarterback. And,
Whatever. Maybe I should just give up on that one. But
I would give up on.
I
Josh
would,
Rosen.
but then again, I've seen crazier stuff, so I don't know.
Honestly, the XFL is probably a better choice for
I thought
Josh Rosen at this
from that
point.
draft, I thought Rosen was the most talented.
I agree with
When
you.
Buffalo drafted Josh Allen, I was like, oh, wrong
It's
Josh.
so tough to say because we can go back and look and say, oh, well, this team made a bad choice taking this guy over this guy, but no one ever knows who's going to pan out and who isn't. You have no idea. Joe Burrow could be the worst quarterback ever.
He
in
was
the
just
NFL.
in an awful situation in Arizona. And you know what? If Kyler Murray can't move, he probably plays just as bad as Rosen does.
Do the Lions take Tua? Because that's been talked about recently this week.
Then what do you do with Matt Stafford?
Trade him?
Yeah, or you use one of them as trade bait.
Him to the Bucks? Yes.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun because he likes throwing the ball. He does. And Arians loves throwing the ball.
And
I
that's,
know
that's
Nolan-
the only place I like Tua, too. Is
I know Nolan doesn't want to hear this, but if Tom somehow does end up leaving New England, Matt Patricia sends Matt Stafford to his old buddy.
I have
Belichick.
heard that, and that probably
great
does make
fit.
a lot of sense. But it's like, if that's the case, I want Matt Stafford to go to the Bucks, dude. I don't want Matt Stafford to come to New England.
Matt Stafford is just Jameis Winston. Like that's all.
That's what I'm saying.
Ugh.
But he might be a
He doesn't
better
throw as many-
James Winston.
He doesn't throw nearly as many picks as Jameis Winston.
Matt Stafford would love Mike Evans.
Oh, he would hump him.
Like love Mike Evans.
Wait, he's like a massive receiver. This is just like Calvin
Yep,
Johnson.
literally.
But I have two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You love Chris Godwin.
I do.
He's a good receiver. He gets forgotten about in the secondary.
I think
What?
that's it.
What? That's it?
Yeah.
You want to cut it off here?
I mean,
Are we done? Are we done talking NFL?
I don't know. Do we have anything else?
I mean, we were
on NFL?
thinking.
I don't know. I like the. What do you think? I know me and Sal talked about it earlier. What do you think about the report that came out that Brady would stay in New England and then they would get AJ Green or Hunter Henry?
Oh wow.
It's great to say, but like, are they really going to sign them?
And I know, and they said Brady wasn't pressuring the Patriots to like sign him for an overly, but he does want like mid-20s.
I'm taking a look at the teams here that are in.
Which I think if they're paying him that, how can they afford both Hunter Henry and?
They can't. They
No, they
afford
can't.
one or the other, and they won't even sign one of them.
So I would rather have Hunter Henry than
I told Nolan this. They're going to sign like Nelson Aguilar, and
if
and
they
then
signed Nelson Aguilar, dude. Like that's crazy.
and then he'll touch like 80 balls for like 900 yards and 6 touchdowns.
I'm still leaving hope that they bring back AB.
What's your guys' opinion
I'm not
on
gonna shut that door yet.
teams like the Panthers or the Jaguars trying to trade up for trying to get that top pick.
If I'm the Panthers,
I
why
think
not?
if he ultimately comes out and says I'm refusing to sign with the Bengals, it'd become a bidding war.
I said this a month ago. Cam Newton and 3 or 4 first-round picks for Joe Burrow. Make it happen, Carolina. Just do it.
For to the Bengals.
Yes.
I don't know if Cincinnati would do that. What are you getting at? Are you gonna win with that right away? What's the point?
You have a quarterback to
that
sell
would be-
tickets.
That would be a good move. If I don't think they're overly concerned with selling tickets because they haven't sold tickets in a long time.
Well, they also don't want to get moved out of Cincinnati either. They have the lowest attendance in the
Oh,
NFL.
I'd love to see them moved
Just
out of
saying,
Cincinnati.
Like you can only polish a turd, it's still a turd. But I'm saying if you put Cam Newton in that situation, that's you're saying we want to win right away, and they don't have the pieces for that. You can't just put Cam Newton in that spot and they're just gonna win immediately.
I'm not going to say they're a win right away, but how many games did they win this year? 4, 3? Oh no, they won 1.
Yeah, maybe they
won
win
1.
6.
They could win 6 or 7 with Cam Newton. That's all right. At that point, you're respectable.
They won 2.
I'm not saying your goals.
2-14.
I'm not saying your goals to be
Polishing
the
a turd
Patriots.
is still a turd.
That was good.
That was a good one. You like that? Right?
6 and 10, 7 and 9 is not anything far fetched.
I really don't think they could even win that with Cam Newton. I think I know we keep talking about Cam Newton being a good talent, but
I'm not even saying I want Cam Newton. But if you're giving me four picks and I can pick whoever I want, that's not Joe Burrow. If he doesn't want to play for me, let him develop. Let him sit behind Cam Newton. And you have Cam Newton who has proven that he is a solid MVP winning NFL
no matter what,
quarterback.
they're probably getting last place in that division next year anyway. Even if they go
The
5
Cleveland
11,
Browns.
6 and 10,
I go back.
they're in such a tough division.
I just go back to Cam Newton playing the only game he did, that first game against the Bucks. That was the worst game I think I've ever seen.
That was really bad
with quarterback play because Jameis was being Jameis, but then Cam was being
doing his
worse.
And then they ended up losing somehow. I don't know how they lost that
Oh
game.
my god!
when Cam's bad, I don't know.
I go look at that game, and I was like, "You had all off season. He had all off season to get better, and he didn't."
You know who Cam's like?
When Cam's bad, he can't.
No, you know who Cam Newton is like?
He couldn't throw at a wall if he's bad.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
When Cam plays bad, it's really hard to
He's
watch.
Russell Westbrook. If Westbrook had injury problems,
He he tore his ACL. That wasn't really his fault. Patrick Beverly kind of
yeah, but that's the only.
No, I know what you're saying.
He still goes out and plays hard and scores points. Cam Newton isn't going out and throwing touchdowns anymore because he can't. What was it, his elbow or whatever that got injured and hasn't
He literally
been the same
lost
since.
his accuracy.
I'm just saying, if you give me someone who I can sell tickets and market to fans, Cam Newton instead of Andy Dalton, if I can say I went from Andy Dalton to Cam Newton and I got 4 first-round picks, I don't
think
what's
it
he
makes
gonna
the
do?
impact that
Andy?
you think it is. I don't think.
I mean, who cares?
I really don't think adding Cam Newton gives you 6 or 7 wins. I really don't.
Let me think for a second. Where is Andy Dalton going to?
Well, I don't think about the 6 or 7 wins
I
thing.
can see him going to the Chargers.
Oh.
I don't hate it.
Who are the Chargers going to get? If they don't get Tom Brady, who are they going to get?
They're talking about Tyrod for a year.
That's awful.
What about Teddy?
Whole point, right?
Get
is
Teddy.
That they're moving to LA, and that's a team that wants to sell tickets. The Bengals, no. Los Angeles wants to fucking sell tickets because they're moving into that new stadium, and you're gonna add Tyrod Taylor.
But is Teddy Bridgewater going to sell tickets?
Well, is Tyrod Taylor? Hold on.
No, but you're not paying Tyrod Taylor $30 million a year.
No, but
I think that would be a terrible move because that's a Band-Aid move.
if you're not in a position to get Tua and you're not in any kind of position to get Tom Brady, Teddy Bridgewater is the obvious choice. That'll be interesting in the offseason to see where he ends up.
And that's the thing,
He's
too, they were
basically
talking about
everyone's second choice.
They were talking about
Everyone
Brady.
wants Tom.
They were talking about Brady freezing up the market. Everyone's just gonna wait for whatever Brady does,
Yeah.
and then everyone's gonna sign everywhere.
I feel like I said this last week. Dalton to the Bears. Why wouldn't we want to do that?
It'd
I
be
can
another
see that.
shit show.
Honestly, though, I could see Andy Dalton going anywhere and it being an okay fit.
Yeah.
With the
Andy
Bears
Dalton's
roster,
not-
they
Andy
gotta win
Dalton's
now.
Not that bad, dude. He's really not. Those years where he was throwing to AJ Green all the time,
His problem is just prime time, dude. He's our Kirk Cousins.
he's a Kirk Cousins. But I really don't think he's that terrible
On
of
a lesser
quarterback.
scale because no one cares about Cincinnati.
That too, no one pays attention to him. But then they were almost a wild card team those few years or whatever. So he was a huge part of that.
But
Tyler Eifert too, which Tyler Eifert's kind of like Greg Olson. He's gonna be gone.
he had
pretty soon.
a couple of really good years.
Speaking of Greg Olson, he did go to Seattle. I don't know if you saw that.
He
Which I
did?
think,
Yeah.
you
Wow.
didn't see that. Did that happen today?
Like last week or like a couple days ago.
Yeah. So
Why not?
I mean, it's better than Luke Wilson
It's better than Jimmy Graham.
and Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham is so old.
So well, Greg Olson is like Greg
Yeah, one of the
Olson-
league's top quarterbacks thrown to you. Honestly, why not?
He
It's
has
a little bit
flash
better.
bones, so-
It's a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, good move for them. I mean, they're
Good
not
move
like
for
a,
Olsen.
They're not like a tight end heavy team, to be honest.
They'll throw to the tight end, but it's not like they're searching for him. They
Yeah.
really just like run around and throw to what's his face, Locker or Metcalf.
Which I'm excited to see Metcalf play again.
He had a
Yeah,
We're
really
talking
good
about
rookie
this as
year.
if like the NFL starts like next week.
I wish it did. But
Oh
we're,
man,
what, 30.
we're stuck with the XFL, but I'm good with it.
It's been all right.
Has been all right. This weekend was I didn't watch it this weekend, to be honest. I watched like maybe 10 minutes of it.
Unders all around, I think.
Oh, do you guys know
I
if
think there's only been 2 games to hit the over.
did the Roughnecks win?
I know the Defenders won.
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean they've looked like the best so far.
They look really good.
They shit on New York.
And they have Cardell Jones, who's been playing outstanding.
The Roughnecks did win.
There you go.
2-0, baby.
They're 2-0. They won 28-24.
Nice.
That probably wasn't over.
I remember that wasn't over. Yeah, I remember seeing that, and they wouldn't go for like the
3 or 2.
the 3-point, and I was like, why not? Then you can win with a field goal. Instead, they went for the 1, and it was 24-28, and they ended up losing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was like, if you get the ball back, what's the plan? You're gonna have to get a touchdown.
Yeah, why
But
wouldn't you do that?
It was, it was whatever.
Or you could go for 2 and like at least you tie.
I think the coaches are like, they're not.
the smartest.
No, they're not just taking chances. Like, they're playing the old school football way. I don't think they're really like giving into the new rules yet.
It's kind of lame.
Like how like no one. I don't think I've seen this exploited yet, but you can do 2 backwards passes behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Not just 1, which I haven't seen any trickery with that yet. But
They'll
I
fit-
feel like coaches are being more cautious right now.
Well, yeah, because they've never football coaches haven't had rules like that before that they can work with. They still got to figure out ways to use it.
Yeah, and you still got a bunch of misfit toys on your team that you got to bring together. So
Yeah, when I think whenever that league's playoff starts, you're gonna see
Honestly,
You're gonna see some interesting plays that are drawn
I'm
up.
excited for that, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it'll draw some viewers. I think
so.
it'll get
It's gonna
solid
be
ratings.
soon too. Like, it's not that
April,
far
right?
away.
Yeah.
April 12th, I think, is the championship. So
Does they play each team once? I'm pretty sure, and then they start the playoffs after that.
I think once or twice. I don't remember.
Because there's 8 teams.
Yeah, so I think it's 16. Is it 16 games? No,
No, it can't be.
it can't be.
There's, I bet
It's
they
got to be
play-
6 games, and then it's got to be like
What's the division? Is it East and West? Maybe, I don't know, but
there probably is no. There probably is
no
no.
idea.
no, I think there is divisions, and I think what I'm gonna guess is that you're gonna play the 3 other teams in your division twice, and then you're gonna play the out of division teams once. I don't know that for a fact, but it seems like the logical answer.
Oh man,
I don't feel like delving into that
I am-
XFL schedule,
No, I'm
but
sorry. I just that was so funny because you're just asking me. I have no idea. Yeah, East and West.
okay.
Okay, this is weird. So they have a Eastern final and Western final. Saturday, April 18th. So I was off on the date, and then Sunday, April 19th, and then April 26th is the championship game.
So yeah, 2 months.
So there's probably a week before
Solid.
that. That's the like the wild card games, because this is only 4 teams. So excuse me.
Bless you.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I feel like it'll be exciting.
It's been better than I thought it would be.
Because, I mean, right now, half the teams are good and half the teams are bad. So, like, if we get to the point where it's just the good teams playing each
It'll
other,
be great.
It'll be playoff football in April. Why not?
I'm excited,
How,
dude.
how can you pass that up?
And then, while that's ending, then
NFL draft,
NFL
combine draft.
Baseball.
Baseball will start.
baseball
Yeah.
will be started. NHL will be wrapping up. NBA will be wrapping up.
NBA playoffs are too long.
Well, they also
They say the same thing about the NHL, but I guess I just like it so much.
NHL does it way better though because they'll actually have back-to-back games once in a while.
No, the NHL does it good because there's actually upsets. In the NBA, the 1 seed is beating
Yes,
the 8
but also with
Yeah.
the NBA, they draw it out
That's
as much
true.
as they can. It's so annoying. They're like, oh, it's the first round, and we're gonna have a 2-day break between 2 games in the same city. Why? What's the point? NBA finals
That's
are
what
like,
I never got either because like
dude, the finals are like
NHL is
3
such a
games in
more
between each
demanding
games.
game
Yeah, I
than
know.
Like basketball is like don't get me wrong, I'm not like one of those people where like, oh, basketball is just like a lazy ass sport. They don't play defense, whatever. No, it is demanding, but nowhere near what the NHL is.
Correct.
And they go play back to back, and that is nuts. So
I wish that
it's
NBA.
not like baseball we're talking here. Like baseball is not that.
The Stanley Cup always ends like a week before the NBA finals do.
Yeah.
But
It's
it does
crazy.
start it starts a week before too.
Oh, the playoffs do?
Yeah,
Okay.
usually.
Well, that's because there's not 2 days in between games, or 3 days, or however many days that they take off in between games and
Yeah,
series.
it's stupid. The NBA playoffs just drag so much, and I can't stand it.
I know, and it sucks.
I just
because
wanna
if they got
watch
to
it.
a point. If they got to a point where they had to cut like the amount of teams that get in, like in half or whatever, like then it's just stupid. I mean, I get it because like the bottom half of each division is usually terrible. So I mean, it would cut out a lot of the bullshit, but then the ratings would go down even more. So they're never gonna do that.
If it's a championship series, like I get having like a 2-day, 2-day,
Yeah, those
2-day
ones
break.
because they get the more ratings and they want to drag.
Maybe
it
a
out as long as they
3-day
can.
travel day, but come on, when you're doing a 3-day break between games 1 and 2 that are both in,
And you got
Oakland.
Milwaukee versus
I
Orlando.
mean, come on.
Come on, bro. Like, let's just skip to it. Come on. Just give them 4 games. Like, make the first game count as 4.
I heard
That way we
something
can
a
skip
couple
it.
years back to where a 1 and 8 seed matchup in the NBA, if you're the 1 seed and you win the first 3 games, that should just be the series.
And I think that's a basketball thing too, because like that happens in the March Madness too. Like, no one ever expects a 16 to beat a 1.
The good teams are very good in basketball. There's a big difference. More than any other sport, there's a big difference between a good team and a bad team, I would say.
But there's always that chance.
There's the
that
one game
16
factor
beats
with
the
college thing too.
Where it's 1 game. We'd have that in a month, too.
And
March
college
Madness.
basketball is just
Yeah, we
it's
haven't
a lot
talked about
more
that.
fun.
March Madness is coming up.
I love Selection Sunday.
nothing like it.
When is it gonna be?
Couple Sundays.
Because it doesn't start till like the middle of March, right?
Yeah, I would say.
And
hold
goes
on.
to like the middle of April.
I would say
beginning
we're
of-
probably 1, 2, 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday. It's probably the 7th.
That is close, man.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be here no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
In the blink of an eye.
There's nothing like that Thursday, like right when your bracket is due
Yeah,
to, and you're
dude.
like an hour before,
And
you're
you're,
like,
like,
I think
filling
it's
out all
all
these
right.
brackets.
No, how bad
and-
is it when you like switch, like you'll have like a 5 and a 12, and you'll be like, all right, I'm picking the 12, and then
Oh.
you go back and they switch it to the 5, and then the 12 wins. You're like, ah,
5s
You're
and
like-
12s are the easiest thing. Like last year, I picked the
Or
3-12
you do that one
upsets and the
bracket where you
5.
flip a coin for each matchup.
I do that sometimes, or
and
I'll do.
you end up with some like random team to win the fucking. Like, imagine if that happens and you get a perfect one.
The 12s and 5s were
was
so
meant to
easy
be.
last year. Because
Oregon
it was 3. It
one.
was 3. Yeah, Oregon and Wisconsin, right?
Yep.
And then I forgot who the 5 that won was, but you're like, yeah, obviously they're gonna win. And then the other 3, what was it? There was some like kind of no names.
I remember that last. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think.
one of them was a 12. Oh, was Murray State a 12? Huh?
Yep. And it's Marquette.
And there was another one.
Was it gonna have?
Was it like that North Carolina team, or was it one of the California teams?
Are they gonna have the
don't
first
re- I
round
don't
in
remember.
Hartford again?
Probably.
Hmm.
I feel like they do that every year.
I hope so.
Maybe we should go.
We could.
I mean, yeah, when you buy,
Tickets aren't gonna be.
when you buy a ticket for that, you get the ticket for the whole day.
Yeah, you do.
You just sit there and watch
You get-
basketball.
you definitely get your bang for your buck, but I hope they're not like too expensive.
Too bad they want a sports betting implemented by them.
Oh man,
What?
they actually were. There was a legislation to be voted on a couple days ago. I don't know if they voted yes or no. I don't know. Those things tend to take time.
Hopefully soon.
You know,
Yeah,
government
didn't it take
stuff.
forever for Jersey to finally get it in
Implemented.
place too?
Yeah, but
Like,
now
it took
like
a couple of years, huh?
It takes the first one, and then the floodgates start opening.
Yeah,
like,
that's very true.
now Maryland has it.
Yeah, but
and
we're
Rhode-
Connecticut.
Rhode
you know,
Island's
once they
getting there.
pass it, it'll take 5 years for us to,
The
get
thing
it done.
with
I'll
Connecticut.
be like, hey, it's
though-
2030. Time to sports bet.
the thing with Connecticut though, with it's that and marijuana. Like they want to get those two things legalized because they don't want everyone around our state, like
To leave and go otherwhere else.
Massachusetts, Rhode Island,
Yeah.
New York, even like New Hampshire and Vermont. They don't want all of them to have it legalized, then everyone leaves the state and just goes there.
Think about the issues this state has, and how everyone is just leaving. There's all your tax money, pot and gambling.
Yeah, I know, and they're too
It's gonna
busy
fix
talking
everything.
They're too busy talking about truck only tolls. Like, bro, that's not going to solve the issue.
You're gonna make so much more money from pot and gambling.
No, you're gonna make a ridiculous amount of money from sports
Because
gambling.
that's what's hot right now is the marijuana thing and
Yep.
the sports betting thing. Two of the biggest money makers right now. All right, I think that's it.
Yeah, when we start diving into
Politics.
state politics, I
Yeah.
think
That-
we
yeah,
gotta,
That's a whole different podcast.
Join us
I'll
next
talk
time.
it all you want, but
Join us next time for the political podcast.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, we are on YouTube now.
Democratic debate follow-up. We'll be with you next week.
Full episodes on YouTube. in
Live
case-
with Mike Bloomberg's corpse.
Yeah, we're having a debate with Trump and Bloomberg on the Underdog Sports podcast next week, so make sure you tune in. Goodbye now.
Peace.
Night, fellas.